Live from New York, happy Christmas Eve.
Also the Festival of LEDs.
The Festival of LEDs. Whatever you celebrate, welcome to Ask an Engineer.
Welcome to a fantastic, fabulous, and of course, festive Ask an Engineer on this Christmas Eve 2014. This is not the last show. This is the second to last show. We're going to be here New Year's Eve. Oh yeah, we have no friends. We're going to be...
So I've heard.
So I've heard. We're going to have an exciting show tonight with plenty of electronics and LEDs and news and tutorials and videos and all sorts of stuff that kind of came together at the end of the year. So stay tuned. It's me, Lady Ada, the engineer, and with me is Phil, Mr. Lady Ada, on camera control.
Hello.
And tweeting.
Also been named Naughtiest Person of the Year by Krampus.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm the good one. He's the bad one.
All right, so on tonight's show, Lady Ada, we are going to have lots of things. You want to hear what some of them are?
Yes, of course.
I have to tell everybody, if you didn't get someone a gift, it's okay. You can get gift certificates. We'll talk about that. We'll go over the show and tell. It was one of the most amazing show and tells of the year, and we'll talk about a special guest that stopped by, Krampus.
Okay.
Mailbag. We read your letters. Adafruit Jobs Board. All the places you can post your jobs that you're looking for, or if you have skills and you're looking to get a job. Some news in the world of open source hardware. We'll talk about Heathkit. How many of y'all out there know about Heathkit? Well, maybe you'll learn a little bit more, or maybe not. Adafruit Learning System, we have some amazing new tutorials. Time Travel Tuesday, we travel back in time and talk about the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, and more. 3D Thursday, we talk about all the things in the world that's fit to 3D print. Pi Day, all the news about Raspberry Pi and more. We'll have new products. We'll answer your questions. We'll have a trivia question. All that and more on, you guessed it, you're still here, Ask an Engineer. All right. So first up, thank you so much for the folks that are maybe taking a couple minutes away from friends and family or whatever your festivities are to tune into the show. We really appreciate it. We've been doing Ask an Engineer for 5 years, and it is always a lot of fun to see the amazing projects that we get in show and tell, the amazing things that we get to put into the show and share. And we just wanted to thank you. Another year in the can.
We're thankful.
Thank you very much. Okay, first up, pay some bills. If you have Bitcoins, better use them. Little advice from me. Pro tip, use them. Our store tip Bitcoins. If you forgot to do last minute gifts, you can get an Adafruit gift certificate at adafruit.com/gift certificates. I'll play a video at the end of the show on if you want instructions. You're probably saying, what's tonight's code, Phil? Tonight's code is Heathkit. That's right. 10% off in the Adafruit store. Use the code Heathkit on checkout. 10% off everything except for EagleCAD software, gift certificates, and the Taz open source 3D printer.
Which is already on sale.
Because it's already on sale. So that's the code Heathkit. What an amazing, cool logo, by the way. Heathkit. Okay,
That's a nice logo. That's kind of logo that you like have metal printed and stamped and like put in the back.
So let's start with the show and tell. Lady Ada, what was on the show and tell this week?
Okay, I totally forgot to write down the show and tell. I was so enamored.
Yeah.
I'm really
we'll try
sorry.
to remember.
Okay.
So first up, we had Krampus.
We had Krampus stop by, who's I don't want to say he's Philby's alter ego, but it looks like Philby's body was subsumed by Krampus and showed up and was extremely festive and mean, very mean and scary, extremely. And apparently he has a Brooklyn accent, which I didn't know Krampus was from Brooklyn. Really amazing costume. Please check it out.
I believe Queens. I think it's from Queens.
Queens, sorry, Queens. Definitely from, not Manhattan. Great costume. Check it out if you're interested in cosplaying as some sort of demon in the future, especially one with LED eyes. We had Noah from the 3D printing team, Noah and Pedro, came by and just showed off some like maybe future Game Girl projects. I don't know what's going on exactly. We also showed off maybe this Game Pi Advance. Just hold it very fast, which might be a future project. So check it out. Maybe. Okay, who was after that? Because now I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I can help you out with that. We did have the project with the Fona and the car.
Right.
It would turn off if your car got stolen. You could use a text phone. You could use it. Oh, you can. We'll watch it. In the
Okay,
show.
so we had the GPS project that was a GPS, a custom GPS board combined with one of our Fona cellular modules that would let you remotely disable or relay or turn off like a car. So like if somebody stole your car, you'd get a text message, and you also like text the phone. It will tell you the GPS location of the board. So it's like an all-in-one cell phone GPS tracker.
Yeah. We also had Sally who came by. She
That's
showed
right.
off her wearable project. It was a
Gemma.
thing. Yep.
It was a Gemma. She had one of those springy like hats, like the green Christmas tree hats. It's like a Santa hat, but it's a springy one. Like you know what I'm talking about. You've seen that with the star at the top. She put a Gemma and a bunch of NeoPixels in it and turned it into a really beautiful festive hat that like twinkled. It was like green, but it also like twinkled, so it looked like a blinking Christmas tree.
Yeah. We also had a homemade 3D printer.
Yes, the fellow with the homemade 3D printer. And also, very interesting, this is actually the most interesting thing I've seen on Show and Tell. He was one of the people who, during the Turing test that happened this year, do you remember the Turing test where they actually had people pretend to be robots and try to fool a person? Like they had like a double-blind test of like, could a person pretend to be a robot?
They have to have a real human in there.
And could a robot pretend to be a real human? And he was one of the humans that pretended to be a robot. Yeah. And you can see the results. It was like I think one out of 3 people was fooled, which just happened. I don't know. Maybe they were off their game, or maybe the robot was extremely human-like. Okay, and then we also had Robert, who had the arcade, and also
a body wire.
Yeah,
that the cops used to use to wire people. He had a real thing that they used to say.
Yeah.
You wired.
Yeah, he went to he lived near like investigative department, like the FBI or the police department, and he had dumpster dived some body wires. They were throwing a bunch of stuff, and he looked through it and he found electronics, and they had the body wires, like wires that they would tape to your body to have a remote listening mic. And he's like, yeah, they like used they used 9-volt batteries, the older version, 2 9-volts. And then the newer versions use 2 7.5-volt batteries, which are like really weird. They're like A cells. They're unusual. You don't usually see them, but they're multiple coin cells, I guess, stacked up together to make it into a 7.5 volt battery. And so he's like, they were kind of like gunky, but he thought that was interesting. And they also had a homemade arcade with a huge subwoofer, and it was like a Dell, and he could like play arcade games. And then we also had the NeoPixel hat, the fellow who made that for his band. Keith, I think, showed up. Kevin showed up with a fuzzy hat with NeoPixels, and he's a web developer, and this is his first time doing electronics, like physical code, not just like web code. And so he thought it was actually really fun because he's like, I get to wear my code, not just have it on a screen, and he's going to maybe make it sound reactive. And we also had C. Scott, who came in with his one voice OBX clone on the Eurorack format. And then am I missing anybody?
That's it?
I think that's it.
Yeah, so if we forgot, sorry.
I was so enamored. These projects were so cool that I actually totally forgot about newspaper. That's how cool they were.
Thank you,
so
everyone who's on the Show and Tell. This is automatically published to YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/Adafruit and you'll see the Show and Tell. Every week we do this. You get a sticker.
If you've been on the Show and Tell.
And Lady Ada, tell people how to get on the show and tell.
Okay, so you want to be on the show and tell next week, which is going to be our last show of the year. We're going to do
It'll be epic.
a New Year's. Did you work on something? By the way, you can show up with projects that didn't work out too. It doesn't have to be working. You can be like, hey, like it blew up, and like, sorry guys.
Yeah.
That's also kind of neat. You can show up with a retro project,
stuff, your workshop.
your workshop or workbench if you have it. You just want to show off how you do stuff.
I'll say this too.
Cats.
If you happen to be one of those like millions of people who have a Heathkit, since we just wrote an article about Heathkit, I'll talk about it in a minute.
That's retro tech.
Come in and show your Heathkit.
It works or doesn't work, doesn't matter. Show it off.
All right.
Yeah, anything pretty much that's cool and that like we think we'd like and is maybe kind of electronicsy or makey related.
Just go to the Adafruit Google Plus page, post a comment, and we will add you to the show and tell.
That's right. You have to post to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit. And then once you post, you'll get added to the circle, and then you'll get the invite every single week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Every single Wednesday, we never take a break. We're always doing this thing.
That's right. Okay, are you ready?
Yes,
Let's keep going. All right, pack the mailbag. Hi, I'm packing. I read letters. So this is Pack the Mailbag. We have a meeting that we do every single week at Adafruit called State of the Fruit, and we read your emails to us, to the entire team, and we read them to you now too. Dear Adafruit delivery support, today I just received my second parcel. It was very fast. I have been very impressed again. Beagle on Black Plus Segger J-Link EDU JTAG SWA debugger. I would like to give thanks to you for your quick delivery. Thanks again. Sincerely, Mustafa.
All right, Mustafa.
Excellent.
You are ready to like JTAG up your Beagle Black. I hope he does some like hardcore low-level programming of Beagle Black. Beagle Black does have a JTAG port on it. You could write code directly to the processor.
Yeah. Next up, the Adafruit Jobs Board, the best and free place online to post your job if you're a cool company who wants to hire makers, or if you're a maker who wants to share your skills and get a job. So this week, the job is a maker in residence from relayard.io, and it's in Berlin, Germany. They're currently looking for the right person to lead their team of makers and tinkers, help support users in creating their own projects. It's an Internet of Things entity, and they want to build something incredible. And you could be the maker in residence who does that. So go to adafruit.com/jobs. Lady Ada and I approve every single one of them. There's no headhunters, there's no recruiters, there's no spam, there's no scams. You can just post your jobs or your skills.
Real makers with real jobs,
Yeah.
with hopefully real money that they
Yeah.
pay you.
Next up, open source hardware news. I always like to just give this is kind of coming into the company update section.
Okay.
Because we're an open source hardware company. We're doing our build out. We have 30,000 square feet now at Adafruit, and this is another part of the building that we're currently putting in ductwork. So you can just
Yay,
see,
ducting.
just a couple photos. I'll give you guys progress photos, but everything's going really well. We're ahead of schedule for some things, and for some other things, we're a little behind schedule. But
Yay, build-outs.
Yeah, build-outs. If you ask anyone who did one, they'll always say it takes a little bit longer than you think. But this is because of you guys out there, our customers, were able to get more space. So we have a 30,000 square foot factory in Soho, New York City, USA, where we make the electronics that you get from Adafruit. Speaking of, the code is Heathkit. Don't forget, 10% off everything in the Adafruit store. All right, next up, really big announcement. The YouTube/Adafruit destination for all the DIY videos you guys like to watch hit 13 million views.
A lot of views.
13 million views.
It's a lot of it. How many videos do we have?
We have thousands.
Okay, that's 1,000. Okay, thousands.
I can actually tell you exactly how
Some
many
huge,
videos.
enormous number.
I can actually tell you exactly how many.
It would be cool if
videos-
they told you how long it would take to watch every video all the way through.
You can add it up. There is a way to do that. How many hours? Right now, the number of videos
Yeah,
we
why
have.
not? Let's just see what the numbers.
Let's see.
Oh man, it doesn't tell you.
It doesn't make it easy to see how many videos we
How
have.
about oh, no.
Maybe I'll hit Video Manager and I'll see how many videos we have. Yeah, 1,087.
Really? Where do you see that?
Right there.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
1,087. So you're right. 1,000.
Thousands. Yeah.
1,000.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
It's a lot of videos.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Becky, who leads up
Yeah.
that video page. That is amazing. Becky Stern, director of wearables, and also manages the YouTube. And but then, by the way, like I know everyone's like, oh, like I've got a phone, I could make vines and videos. These videos that Becky's doing are like the best videos
I
for
think
wearable and electronics, like hands down.
I think so. All right. So next up, as some of you know, I like to write articles about the maker movement. And if you go to the Make Zine site, you can see ones that I wrote about Arduino, about Sony, I said, boy, Sony is picking on hackers and makers. They maybe shouldn't do that. And
I
I wrote an article about that like 4
Very
years ago.
prophetic 4-year-old article.
I wrote an article, Why the Arduino Won and Why it's Here to Stay. Why
Yeah.
Arduino got so popular. How companies should open source stuff if they're going to go bankrupt and kill off everything. How the post office could start to be more relevant in this technology world and help makers. I did an article about the unspoken rules of open source hardware. I like to do historic articles.
Okay.
I like to do articles that celebrate a time when people made things and they enjoyed it, and there was companies that serviced that need.
Like who?
So a lot of people out there who are a little older know about a company called Heathkit,
Which is the code,
which is the code tonight for the show.
in case you're wondering.
But Heathkit...
Not to be confused with Healthkit.
Yeah.
Which every time I see Healthkit from Apple, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Apple's getting to Heathkit. And I'm like, because that L disappears.
So if you go to adafruit.com/blog, you can read my article. And it's the first feature article. And then right before the show, I have some breaking news. There was an update. So Heathkit...
Updates.
Yeah, Heathkit was started in 1926. They were basically aircraft manufacturer electronics. They were in St. Joseph, Michigan. At their peak, they had 1,800 people who worked for them. They manufactured electronics from 1947 to 1992. In 2011, they had a business, lighting business. They sold around 2000, and the company announced in 2011 they were going to re-enter the kit business after a 20-year hiatus. But then they filed for bankruptcy in 2012.
So that was only 4 years ago that they came back from the dead.
Yeah.
And then they said, we're going to do kits again. And I remember that. Everyone was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, this is like the original kit company.
Yeah.
Not the original, but like
So-
the well-known one.
Yeah.
And then 2012, they filed bankruptcy. But now,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah, and so there was lots of things that were going on. Back in 2008, I talked to a fellow named Don, and he apparently purchased the copyrights and/or the ability to distribute Heathkit manuals. So he sells them on his site.
these are like historic manuals. So they're
Yeah.
famous because they're like so
Yeah.
beautiful and they're well-made and they're like so descriptive and they have schematics. So you can actually build some of the products, probably, or projects, just using the manuals.
Yeah. So I contacted him and I said, would you be willing to let me post up the schematics of all these old Heathkits for people to learn about, and any public domain or any manuals you're willing to let us publish? And he agreed to. Unfortunately, his scanner and duplication system broke, and we kind of lost contact, and that was it. And that never worked out. But I had started to put stories on Make about Heathkit because I was leading up to this. Tell me all your Heathkit stories. So last year, December 20th, on the to the day, it was
Okay.
last year,
Yeah.
December 20th.
2013.
2013. On Heathkit.com, they announced that they were coming back. And it said, the news of our death has been greatly exaggerated. So this is Heathkit.com. And they did a special Ask Me Anything on Reddit. That's a time where you can go and ask people any questions.
An AMA.
An AMA.
In the parlance of our youth.
Yeah. And they had a special competition. They were going to give away something if someone found like a geocache type
There's a
thing.
geocache note, yeah.
So that was December 20th, 2013. So I put a little thing on my calendar
Bleep.
that said, check on Heathkit.
And
.com.
the AMA is still up. Like you can see
Yeah,
the questions
yeah,
and answers
yeah.
if you want to. You can
And
still do
so
it.
I put a little thing on my calendar to remind me to check in on Heathkit every few months to see if anything changed on the site. So a year went by. So a year to the day, December 20th, 2014, I decided to write an article. And the article was me trying to figure out who owns Heathkit, the brand, the assets, the everything. What happened 1 year, not a single update, not a single peep, nothing. I took the survey when they put a survey up.
Yeah.
I never got an email. They have this Heathkit Insider thing. So I just decided to see what I could find out. And you should look at the article. It's featured. And I can proudly say that right before the show, the president of Heathkit, the person who says there's president of Heathkit, that is.
Mr. Heath. No, not Mr.
Yeah.
Heath. Sir Heath.
We had an email exchange and we talked on the phone last night for an hour. So thank you very much. We promised to not publish anything unless it came from them. So that's the word we gave them. That's my promise that I gave them, and I'm respecting it. So they sent us a statement, and I posted it directly up on the blog, unedited. And so if you want to learn more about what they're willing to say about Heathkit, go to adafruit.com/blog and scroll down. It's the first post up there right now. And decide for yourself. I call the article Heathkit, the electronic history mystery.
Which also rhymes and sounds like it would be a cool TV show.
So there you go.
Like Scooby-Doo and the Heathkit Electronic Mystery or something?
So I'm looking forward to writing more articles. In my mind, the thing I wanted to write about Heathkit is basically over. I will say this. We get compared to Heathkit a lot for one specific reason, and this is almost a weekly email we get. Hi, I used to make Heathkits all the time, and as soon as I discovered Adafruit, that's when all those fond memories came back. Because it's not about the physical goods for some people. It's about the time that you spend making something. And it's such a special, amazing thing that if you make something, you get. If you buy something, it's a different experience. Mm-hmm. And so when people compare us to Heathkit, it's
But we don't have paper manuals. We just have online manuals.
It's okay. We have a learning system.
We have a learning system instead.
Yeah. So for all the people who came out of the woodwork basically and sent me, I have a folder of Heathkit emails, past employees, people. Some people have crazy stories. Thank you so much. I will get to all of them. I had to set up a special filter because so many people emailed us telling us about their Heathkit experiences.
Lots of good. People had extremely fun experience. This is a brand. It's interesting. We were talking about brands. This is a brand that has so much in it for people. This brand has so much history.
Yeah, valuable.
So it started in 1912.
1926.
1926.
Founded in 1926.
I mean, it's almost going to be 100 years later. I mean, like 10 years for me is like nothing anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens in a year. And I think that I agree. They have big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of expectation. They have to do a very good job because people are going to be comparing the people who have the Heathkit intellectual property now. They will be compared to 50 years, 70 years of history.
Yeah. So
That's a lot.
A follow up. I reconnected with Don. And Don said in January that he is going to get me the schematics that I can publish on Make. I'm also going to see if we can get them on archive.org and also on Adafruit. So this started a bunch of really cool conversations. And once again, thank you everyone who's been sharing all these stories, fond stories.
Be the Heathkit you want to see in the world.
Yeah. All right, next up. Adafruit Learning System, over 600 tutorials. This week we have a very special tutorial. This is one I wanted on our site forever, and it's there.
I know, you kept telling me to write this tutorial, and I was like, I'll get to it.
This is a penguin. And this is a new tutorial by Brennan, and it is, What is Linux Anyhow? A gentle introduction to the world's most popular free operating system. So if you want to learn about Linux.
Yeah, because people, I think it's interesting. So, and this actually reminds me a little bit about like the Heathkit stuff, because when Heathkits came out, like the kits, like they did have computer kits, but for the most part, a lot of them were like TVs or radios or like transmitters or like ham gear. And they often didn't have microprocessors or microcomputers, like they didn't exist yet for the most part. And now and I remember like in like for the last 10 years, it's been like microcontrollers. It's like PICs, AVRs, Arduino, Basic Stand, Propeller. Everyone loves microcontrollers, and a lot of kits include microcontrollers, including this awesome evil man scientist Menorah, which has an AT-Tiny 85 in it. The microcontrollers are so great. And then kind of what happened in the last like 5 years is that microcontrollers that are like these bare metal processors, you literally say, add a number and make a pin high, make a pin low. Like they're very manually programmed. Much like, the original computers like the Apple II or the Commodore 64, and like Peek and Poke and all that good stuff. Now we're actually getting to the point where with stuff like a Raspberry Pi and the BeagleBone Black and like gum sticks and many other boards that like QB Bloxes and Banana Pis and like PC Duinos and Edisons and like everything. The cost and power capabilities of these processor chips, they're getting so powerful and so inexpensive, and so the power requirements are so low. So this combination of price, power, size, and all that good stuff came together, and is basically allowing people to run Linux on a wearable, on a watch, on something the size of a postage stamp. And so Linux is one of the top choices for embedded operating systems. There are others, and I know like VM Core. I don't remember the name of the router software that people tend to use. It's not the only embedded operating system, but it is. Linux is free. It's easy to use. It's well understood. It's like over 25 years old. Everyone is familiar with it, except if you're not familiar with it. And if you're not familiar with it, Linux is like really. It just has a lot of words and it's hard to understand. And there's like kernels and there's shells and there's bash and there's like scripting and then there's coding and there's Python and there's command lines and it's very alien to people who may be used to like Windows and Mac computers. And so when Brandon came to us and said, I want to write some tutorials for the learning system, I said, one of the tutorials, because he's a Linux fan, I said, let's do one introducing Linux, explaining Linux to the beginner. So that they're not just like reading a Wikipedia article, which is great, by the way, great Wikipedia article, but also having a tutorial that explains it easy to understand ways, explains the command line. And so this is a multi-piece tutorial. We're going to be doing like 4 or 5 of these. And this is the first one, a gentle introduction to Linux.
That's right. Okay.
So explaining the explanation of the explanation.
Very cool. All right. And thank you so much, Brennan. A great start of a wonderful tutorial series.
Okay.
Next up. Lady Ada, this is Node.js embedded development on the Raspberry Pi. Get yourself Pi and write some JavaScript. Node.js is something everyone knows about. So
okay, I know about it, but I actually have never programmed in it.
And so we have a tutorial on it because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with our Internet of Things service called Adafruit.io. So this tutorial is by Todd Treese, and he did an amazing job with it. If you're curious about running Node.js on a Raspberry Pi.
And like using it with hardware and stuff?
This is for you.
Yeah, so I totally admit, I actually have never used Node.js, but now after reading this, I'm like, I really want to use it. I totally missed the Node.js bus. Like I hit, like after Python 3 came out, I was pretty much already like not learning any new languages.
Yeah.
So I want to go and actually learn Node.js because it's JavaScript, but it's a way to like actually have more interactivity. It looks like it's basically like a JavaScript core, but with all these assistive parts that let you have it like act as its own like web server. It seems like, I don't know. I'm guessing.
You can write JavaScript and run it on an embedded device now.
That's right. We have
these
Asperino,
yeah.
So it's kind of like a scripting language, but has been used for a lot of embedded processing. And I like this mix of Node.js and hardware and Raspberry Pi. This is a nice mix. So a lot of people who do Node programming for web development, this is a very good way for you to get into interactive and embedded Linux.
Yeah.
So these two tutorials actually go quite well together.
Someone in the comments said, I'm watching a live stream about Linux on YouTube, which is run by Linux, which is currently being shown on my Ubuntu Linux desktop computer. Linuxception.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Linux is everywhere.
Yeah, next up. Lady Ada, this is a new guide. It is for a new product that we're going to be talking about. Adafruit's dot star LEDs. Imagine NeoPixels, but with a double shot of espresso.
Yeah, these are our new. This is the new product we'll talk about, and I'm also wearing this is fabulously fashionable dot star LEDs. This is a tutorial by Phil B. And people who are familiar with NeoPixel strips, these are little LEDs, and they're called WS2812s, and there's also compatible ones. Like they're not always the exact same part number, so we call NeoPixel the family of compatible chips. But these are strips that are 2-wire. They have 2 wires for data and clock. So it's the same system of like, you shift data in and it shifts down the chain. But these pixels, instead of using a 1-wire protocol, which has like, the toggle pin and it has to be exact timing because there's no clock line, these have data and clock. And because of that, they can be used with any processor. They don't have to, it's not, NeoPixels have been kind of crammed into Raspberry Pi and BeagleBone, and you can kind of get it working on everything. But what's really nice about these is because there's no timing requirements and there's no stopgap delay for latching. You can literally use it with any processor, and they work fantastically. So that's why they're called dot star. It's like the dot star regular expression expansion. It works with everything. And also kind of sounds like a bright, starry thing. And then this is a tutorial to kind of we'll talk about these more a little bit when we show them off in new products, but this is Phil B's tutorial talking about the pluses and minuses of dot stars versus NeoPixels. And also we have Raspberry Pi and Arduino code, but of course, because there's no timing requirements and there's only 2 pins, it will be very easy to port to other processors, and we'll have more in this tutorial later.
Okay, next up. This is a new one. This is the MPR121 capacitive touch sensor, Raspberry Pi and BeagleBone Bell Act. You can easily sense touch from up to 12 inputs using this.
Actually, more, because you can have 4 of these in a row, so you can actually do 48 inputs.
Yeah.
But this is a tutorial porting our MPR 121 chip capacitive-based touch sensor from Arduino to BeagleBone Black and Raspberry Pis done by Tony DeCola. And you are probably, if you have worked with the MPR 121, you're probably like, wait a minute, Lady Ada. The MPR 121 requires repeated start I2C, and the Raspberry Pi doesn't have repeated start I2C. So how did you get this working? Good question. Tony DeCola did a lot of research and found that actually in the latest firmware for the Raspberry Pi, you can enable repeated start I2C. So everyone out there who's been like, I want to kill myself because I2C with repeated start doesn't work on Raspberry Pi, he updated our Raspberry Pi GPIO I2C library to automatically enable repeated starts. So chips like the MPR 121 and MPL 3115A2 barometric pressure sensor, as well as other repeated start I2C programs will work on the Raspberry Pi. So do check it out. Even if you're not interested in the capacitive touch sensor, you may be interested in our repeated start I2C.
Okay, next updated. This is a new project. This is from Leslie. It is a magical mistletoe. Step under the mistletoe and you'll get more than a kiss. The berries lights up. So this is a really cool trinket project that Leslie did. She works with our wearables department. And here you can see it in action. They had just kissed, so after they kissed underneath this thing, it lights up. Very cute and very cool.
It is the most adorable thing. There's a little animated gif of them smooching.
Yeah. Next up.
It's cute.
We posted up the D is for Diode, the video and the transcript for all the educators and all the people who want to have text that goes along with it, including some more information about our series. We have a kid show called Circuit Playground, and we are up to F. We do A is for ampere, B is for battery, we did C is for capacitor, D is for diode, E is a musical act that we're filming probably in January, we did F is for frequency, and then after that, G is for ground.
Yeah, once Colin's done with those Bluetooth energy, we're going to get him back into the videos. We only have one Colin.
Next up, a new tutorial writer. This is Aaron, and this was the light up scarf. Did we do this one last week? Maybe we just published it last week, and we talked about it on the show.
I don't think we talked about it, because I don't remember.
But either way, you can build a fantastic light up fuzzy scarf with 7 different color modes. The animated NeoPixel glow fur scarf. Cool.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, very cool project. Thank you, Aaron. Next up, Time Travel Tuesday. We look back in the world of makers, hackers, artisans, engineers. Lady Ada, I have a question for you.
I'm a little tired. Yeah.
What were you doing, I don't know, maybe 7 years ago on Christmas Day or Eve-ish? Do you remember what you were doing?
I don't remember, Phil. What was I doing?
I know what you were doing. You made a blog post on December 25th, 2006 at 2:15 a.m., and it was called How Jews Celebrate Christmas. You said, I jammed Santa's GPS so he couldn't find his way to your house. What you did is you published the wave bubble tutorial.
Right. This was my redesign of the wave bubble.
Yeah.
With that beautiful Jedco button.
Yeah, and the wave bubble is a do-it-yourself cell jammer that fits inside of a pack of cigarettes, if need be. And you have it, you can just Google for it. It's still published. And it's just search for wave bubble, and you'll see the very cool thing that anyone could potentially build if you really wanted to.
This would be a cool kit for Heathkit to do. Should do a cell phone jammer kit. That'd be pretty
I
popular.
posted on the blog that there's a priest in Italy that installed cell phone jammers in his church, and there's controversy because it's not exactly clear he's not allowed to do that. He might be allowed to do it. Yeah. Anyways, that was kind of neat.
Okay.
All right.
Remember, the FCC doesn't rule over Italy.
Not yet.
They can't tell Italy what to do.
Next up, 3D. So don't forget, folks, there is no 3D Hangout show tomorrow because it is Christmas Day. We do have a month-long sale. The Taz 4 is the only FSF certified open source 3D printer. We have it at the lowest price online. It is on sale all month. So please, please, please pick one up. We asked you, what do you guys want us to stock for 3D printers? Everyone said, you need to stock open source printers. Oh, find one. We're like, there are none right now. And then one came out and we stocked it. So keep buying them and we'll keep stocking them. Next up. I guess I should mention the free deals are still going on. $100 you get a 5-volt trinket. 150 you get. I'm sorry, 100 is the perma-proto. 150 is the 5-volt trinket. 200 free UPS ground shipping, and then 200 is the 250 is the pro trinket. Yeah.
Yeah, 100 is the perma-proto. Yeah, we don't have to do the graphic. 100 is perma-proto. 150 is 150 is Trinket 5-volt.
Yeah.
200 is free shipping UPS
anyways.
ground, and 250 is Pro Trinket 5-volt.
So that still works with the Taz. So anyways.
Right.
All right, so we have a special video this week from Noah. Let's check it out.
Hey everybody, Noah here for Adafruit. I just wanted to give you guys an update on some new filament that I've been testing. So I got myself a spool of this new highly flexible nylon filament called PCTPE, and it's by the guys at tallman3d.com. I've tried printing nylon before and it's kind of a pain in the butt. Check out Tom's video on some of the struggles of printing with nylon and why it's worth it. I think it's a really cool material, but for the most part it requires a heated bed. Luckily though, we carry the Orion Delta 3D printer in the Adafruit shop, and it does have a heated bed. Bowden systems don't work too well with TPE type material, specifically like NinjaFlex, but it prints really good with this flexible nylon. So I thought I'd print my Raspberry Pi 8 Plus case, and it's really flexible. It is extremely flexible. I was surprised it's not brittle and it doesn't snap. Though it's not really elastic, but it still holds its shape when you bend it far enough. It goes back into its shape. The tolerances came out pretty spot on. There wasn't much shrinkage. I printed at 230C with a 60C bed. I printed pretty slow, 30 to 40, and it's pretty much the same slice settings that I use for PLA. The retraction distance was set to 6 millimeters with a speed of 110. This is of course a Bowden system, so you're going to have a lot of retraction and speedness. I did manage to get warping problems, even with glue stick on my painter's tape. That might just be because my cheapskate isn't leveled, but I did get warped corners. Even though with the warped corners, the tolerances came out pretty good. The mounting holes and the standoffs, everything lined up perfectly. I keep seeing that it has ABS-like characteristics. I didn't see much other than the warping and that it's hard to stick to the bed. But bridges seem to print pretty well, unlike ABS. The longest bridge is like 8 millimeters, and it seemed to print pretty well. It feels a lot like a milk jug. If you've ever touched a milk jug, it feels soft and it feels like this stuff. So this is really great if you're looking to print nylon easily. That's very flexible. You're going to get really strong, flexible parts, though there's no elasticity, like I was saying before, and it prints really nice with the Orion Delta style printer. So let us know if we should carry flexible nylon in the Adafruit shop, and let me know in the comments below what else I should print in nylon flexible filament. Thank you guys so much for watching our videos and subscribing. It means a lot to us. We'll see you guys next year, really next week, with more videos, and have a happy holiday, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right, thank you very much, Noah. And don't forget, there is no 3D printing show tomorrow, and there's no 3D printing show on New Year's Day, so it'll be returning
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Next up,
Enjoy.
Raspberry Pi News. Lady Ada, we had a very short video. It's a coming soon, and I just want to play it, and maybe then you can tell me
Okay.
a little bit about
I'll
what
talk
this
about
is.
like what I'm doing these days.
Yeah, this is a very cool Raspberry Pi thing you're working on.
Okay.
What's this?
Late
Whoa, that's
night.
bright.
Sorry.
What is this thing?
This is me testing the Pi RGB matrix with a 32 by 64 fine pitch matrix.
Wow, that's intense. Okay. Okay, Lady Ada, what was that?
That was me at home, and I was working. The hats that I've been doing lately, I've been doing actually a lot of Raspberry Pi hats.
This is
I've got about like 10 hats in progress. We're going to see about one a week for the next month and a half. I think we've already done a couple. We're going to have one tonight, and we'll have one next week, and the one after that, whatever, etc. And this one is a hat for driving these RGB matrices that we're going to be talking about. They're 32 by 64 matrices, and they come in all sorts of different sizes. This is like the small one, so it goes into my bag, and we'll show us off in new products. This is the bigger one. And they're pretty low cost for the 2,000 LEDs that you get in here, the 2,000 RGB LEDs. And they're multiplexed, but and usually you would require like real-time control, but some very smart people posted up some GitHub code for controlling these. I wrote some code for Arduino, but now it's been ported to the Raspberry Pi. So we'll have a hat that lets you plug in and chain multiple ones of these to make your own RGB mini wall.
Very cool.
Very small RGB wall. So that's
Okay.
one of the many hats.
All right, so it is that time. Before we get started, don't forget the code is Heathkit. 10% off in Native Restore, everything in there except for EagleCat software, gift certificates, and the TazBot because the Taz is on sale. If you waited too long to get someone something this year, you can get an Adafruit gift certificate right now. You should do it, but if you're getting physical things, don't forget the code is Heathkit. It's going on till midnight tonight. And with that being said, it's now time for new products, Lady Ada.
It's new time.
Okay, first up, hey look, a JavaScript running microcontroller.
Yes, this is the new version of the arduino. Honestly, I actually don't remember the specs, the updates. We do have it in the product description.
Oh yeah.
But it has been updated. And so we have the newest version. I believe they added some more pinouts, and maybe they even upgraded the processor. I don't remember. Yeah. This has been a busy week. But check it out. The arduino is a JavaScript running microcontroller. It's an ARM STM32. You can see right here. And it's running pretty fast. It has an 8 megahertz crystal, but it's clocking it up. I think it's probably running at least 30 or 40 megahertz. And it actually has a JavaScript parser inside of it. So you can actually run JavaScript. You can log into it and run JavaScript, or you can upload code to it and it will run it as a processor. And then you can have little JavaScript libraries to do stuff like control neopixels or LEDs or sensors. So it's kind of interesting thing. I remember looking at this when we first put it in, and I remember thinking, wow, people who think that assembly code is the only way to write to a processor, and that Arduino is cheating, this will blow their minds, because compared to Arduino, Arduino looks like super bare metal programming. This is actually running a scriptable interpreter.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, this is finally in stock. This is the Littlebits Cloud Starter Kit. We purchased these, and we just got around to finally getting them in the store just in time for the holidays. If you want to do Internet of Things in the easiest, best way possible, especially for young people, this is the Littlebits Cloud Starter Kit. Littlebits is an open source hardware company run by Aya
Badir.
Yeah.
She's also here in Soho. Sorry, she's in Chelsea now.
On the show lots of times. An amazing woman, amazing company. If you want to give one of the best gifts out there this year, this is it. They're also available in Radio Shack.
This is definitely the easiest way to do Internet of Things. It's very simple and straightforward. There's no soldering. You plug and play. It has Wi-Fi. It's easy to connect up to your network. There's an iPhone and web app that you can use to remotely control stuff, and you can have there's a servo, there's I think a light strip, there's probably a switch or a relay, there's a microphone, you can listen for things. So you can have inputs and outputs using the Littlebits kit. And what's cool is that you can be very young, inexperienced, new to electronics, and make your own custom Internet of Things product.
Okay. Next up. This is coming soon, and you guys can look at our hardware hangout that we did before. You can look at past shows. The other mill is a very cool kind of mini CNC, and we use it.
It's not kind of a mini CNC, it is a mini CNC.
It's a very small, we've had it on the show. We had Mike Esty, the CTO, on the show. We use it for making our circuit board testers. We use it for
I use it for
flexible
prototypes.
Electronics.
And also, it's a very, very precise circuit board mill. Very precise.
It's coming soon. We have it in the store. We think they're going to sell very fast, so sign up now.
Yep.
Okay.
And we have accessories for it. We're also going to get circuit boards and stuff when we get the other mills in. I got one. I got it on the Kickstarter, and I was we rushed to be one of the first people to get it because I wanted to get it early. And it's awesome. We use it every single day here at Adafruit.
Yeah.
Compared to other circuit board mills, this one actually works. It can drill and cut. It has the ability to you can dynamically see it working. The software runs on a Mac, and it's flawless. It's just a joy to use, and I'm probably going to get another one for the lab, so we have two. So I don't know.
Next up.
Suggested.
I'll do these. I got two books that we just put in. The Encyclopedia of Electronics, Volume 2.
Platt.
By Charles Pratt, one of the best books out there. We have Volume 1, so why not put in Volume 2? Charles Pratt is probably the best living writer about things like this right now. Fantastic book. Okay, next up, got another book. This one we did it coming soon, but now it is in stock. Building open source hardware. This is
actually we sold out.
We sold out already.
Okay. Yeah.
Congratulations, Alicia. You can say a Adafruit bestseller.
Yeah, we're going. We don't actually have one because we sold the last one.
Yeah. Okay.
They forgot to save one for me.
All right. Sorry. And
but it's all about building open source hardware.
Yeah.
And the process behind it, interviews with people.
Yeah.
It's a very detailed book. A lot of really good information. I think that we have a chapter excerpt. Are we linked to one?
Well, we tried to get a chapter done. We ran out of time.
No. We have an excerpt that you can read.
Yes. I feel bad.
Phil,
about
why
that.
haven't you done everything?
I feel bad about it.
Okay. All right. It's okay.
Next
Sorry.
up. All right. Next.
Well, Krampus does say you're the worst person. Do you
Yeah,
want to do
I
the
know.
Saleys next?
Yeah, we're gonna do Saleys next,
Okay.
and then some LED. Yeah, we just
Yeah,
got a lot of
do
stuff.
the Saleys, yeah.
Okay,
Those
so
are-
here it
those are
is.
good.
What are they? What is a Saley? What is a Saley?
These are the Saley Logic Analyzer, and we used to carry the Saley Logic 8 and 16, and those have actually been discontinued and upgraded. They now have more and better, and this is the Logic 4, and we also have the Logic 8 Pro.
Yeah.
And here's what's updated. So first off, they're as good as the old Saleys, but they're much faster. And you can check the specs on the product page because I remember all the specs. And not only that, but the Logic 4 has an analog input as well. So not only is it
Oh.
a digital logic analyzer,
I just wanted to go. Oh.
stop. It's also a oscilloscope. So it's a USB oscilloscope, one channel oscilloscope, as well as a high-speed logic analyzer. So it's very good for when you're looking at multiple digital signals and you maybe want to watch the power supply line as well to see if you're getting glitches because your power supply is drooping. And the Pro 8 has 8 channels of analog / digital. So each pin can be digital or analog. On the Saley Logic 4, only 1 pin. So there's a price difference for that reason. But the Logic 4 is like a really great deal. I think it's like $100. It's like, this is an excellent, excellent tool to have.
Yeah.
I use my Saley all the time whenever I'm doing logic analysis. When I was like debugging these LED strips or the matrices, having a logic analyzer and their software is like top notch and works on Mac, Linux, and Windows. Really, really suggested. This is like the best logic analyzer. I haven't quite tried the analog oscilloscope part of it, but I'm sure they did an excellent job. And we'll be carrying the other 2 types of Saley. There's a 16 and the Logic 8.
Yeah.
We'll get those as well. These are the first 2 that came in from our shipment. Check it
Yeah.
out. Hopefully we'll have them on the show soon as
I
well.
have big news. They're going to be
Oh.
on a special hardware hangout
Okay, great. We're going to do hardware hangout with them.
in January.
These guys are super cool. It's not open source hardware, but it's really beautifully well designed, and
Yeah.
it is used to make open source hardware.
Yeah. I like these guys a lot. They always post about their business,
Yep.
and I really like that about
They have a
them.
zebra printer.
Okay.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do next? Do you
Next up, let's go to. Now we're on to Blinky stuff, right?
We got a lot.
Let's do the matrices.
want- Matrices. Welcome to the Matrix. You took the right pill.
Stop. These are the 16 by 32 matrices, and I'm actually going to start with the biggest one, and I'll show it on the. I won't use the overhead. I'll just show it upright because it's big. But let me plug it in. These are 16 by 32. Sorry, 32 by 64 LED matrices. These aren't massive LED matrices. These are used to make those giant LED displays that you see on like Times Square. Like if you were in Times Square next week. So hold on. Upside down.
It is beautiful.
One
to
second.
to behold.
Hold on. So this is using an Arduino Mega. I do want to note that we have a tutorial for the 16 by 32 version of these, the one that's 1/4 the size for Arduino Unos. But the Mega has enough memory and the Uno does not. So you can see this is the 6-pitch display. So there's 6 millimeters between the pixels and each one is an RGB LED. And you do have to clock each row real time. So they're not like NeoPixels or dot stars where the controller kind of takes care of the PWMing for you. You have to manually PWM it, so you need like 13 pins, and you clock out all the data very, very fast. Really excellent if you have an FPGA or CPLD to help you. You can also, there's a BeagleBone code for it that uses the PRU, so it's like self-running, and that's like the nicest way to run these. And you can also run them, I'm going with the Mega. It's not going to be very big. It's only 1 panel, but it does work. And we also have some code for Raspberry Pi in our GitHub repo, so do check that out. And then I'm going to show the 5 millimeter. So this is the 6 millimeter, and then I'm going to unplug it.
32 by 64.
These are 32 by 64 pixels. Yes. And then this is the 5 millimeter pitch. I'm going to show the difference. Oh, can you go to the
To what? To you?
to me? Yeah.
Wow.
It's a. Whoa. Oh no, it's falling apart. Hold on.
Back to the photo.
No. I got it. So this is the 5 millimeter pitch. So compare that to the 6 millimeter pitch. So sorry, this is much smaller, but it's still quite big and looks quite beautiful. And then, so the deal is we actually don't have the 4 millimeter pitch because they sent us the wrong thing, but we do have the 3 millimeter. And the 3 millimeters are like totally gorgeous because they're extremely fine pitch LEDs. Not even that much more expensive. Hold on, let me hook this up. Bam! So this is the This is the 3mm pitch. So this is the same size as the 16 by 32 matrix, but has 4 times as many LEDs. This is like really beautiful. And like if you do have to clock the data out, but if you have the capability to run it, if you have BeagleBone or an Arduino or Raspberry Pi or a propeller, you can drive these. It's a great way to have a lot of LEDs. This is like the easiest way to have a matrix of LEDs. Much better than soldering up your own boards, I think.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous screens.
Yes.
Okay, next up, which one do you want to do?
Okay, now we're going to do the dot stars.
Dot stars, all right.
Okay.
I'm just going to, so here we go.
Start there, and you can just go through them, and I'll talk. So these are the dot star LEDs, and these are really similar looking to NeoPixel. So if you're familiar with NeoPixel LEDs, I'm wearing these fine things. These are very interesting because they are LEDs with a microcontroller inside of the LED itself. And so the LED pins, instead of having like red, green, blue ground, like most analog LEDs, you actually clock data to them and you tell it what color you want the LED. And you can clock data down from one to the other. You can chain them. So data in, data out. You can like chain as many as you want, like an infinite number, really. It's 144 here. But you can go, if you have the memory for it, you can have as many as you want. And you set the color of the LED, and it actually does the PWM for you. So this is really, really great. If you compare to these matrices that you have to clock the data continuously, these are self-running. So they're excellent for processors that they want to set the color and then they go off and do other things, sensors or other LEDs or Wi-Fi or button presses or displays or whatever. And here's the cool thing about dot star LEDs and why we have a different name for them, and they're not called NeoPixels. Even though they're very, very similar to NeoPixels in that they're LED and the processors inside of them, and you clock them and they have PWM, they have two things that make them significantly better compared to NeoPixel, in my opinion. One, they do not use a one-wire protocol. There's 2 wires clocking data, and it's not timing specific. You can use any processor or microcontroller that can do up-down pins to control these. They don't have any specific timing or like if there's a delay, they'll latch. It's basically like you have to send a special signal to start and a special signal to end, all zeros and all Fs. But in between, you can clock at any rate, so it's great for use with like a Raspberry Pi on any pins, or like a propeller if you don't want to use a whole processor and has specific timing. It works great with an Arduino, or like a basic stamp, or the Arduino, or like anything, any kind of processor, any kind of microcontroller. It's just 2 wires, clocking data, you just move them up and down, very, very simple to use, and so they're much more portable, because I know the thing with NeoPixels, if NeoPixel hasn't been ported to your processor of choice, or you don't have the right clock, you're not clocking at the exact right rate because you have a 12 megahertz clock instead of 8 or whatever, it doesn't work. These don't have that problem. It's very nice. Also, you can clock them at extremely high speeds. NeoPixels, you can only do 800 kilohertz because it's a fixed frequency speed. But we clock these at 32 megahertz without a problem, and they work just fine. You can probably even do faster. That's the fastest that we had the capability to do at the time because we had a Raspberry Pi do it. Chances are you can go even faster. So 32 megahertz or more. So very, very fast updates. You can write to the strip almost as fast as you can possibly clock it out, because I don't think even 72 megahertz on processors can't go faster than 32 or so megahertz. Okay, so that's great. And then the third thing that makes them really, really cool is that the update rate for the PWM is 20 kilohertz. And so compared to the NeoPixel, which has 400 kilohertz, these update very, very fast. The PWM is very smooth and very fast. So when you wave the strips around, you don't see the dither points. You don't see the individual LEDs turning on and off like you can. Like, I mean, if you look really, really, really closely, but you pretty much can't. And so these look very good when you're doing lots of color manipulation, because you don't see flicker effects at the ends of the brightness spectrum, which you sometimes see with NeoPixel. And also, if it's moving, it looks completely smooth. You can't tell that it's being pulse width modulated. It looks like perfectly smooth, so you can use these for persistence of vision. Trade-off is you have to use 2 wires, can't use 1 wire, and they're a little bit more expensive. And we don't have them in other shapes. We only have them in strips right now. But they're really, really awesome. We're going to be using some very fun projects. Light painting would benefit greatly from these. Persistent vision, costuming if you're moving around. Light effects. These are beautiful. And we have them in 30, 60, and 144 LEDs per meter.
Okay. Lady Ada, besides you, the star of the show tonight, I think, is this.
Okay. Finally.
Yay! Dun,
Yay!
da, 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 da.
It's hat
Dun,
Number
dun,
2.
dun, 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 dun,
Like we said, we're working on a lot of hats.
dun, dun, dun,
Wait, what's going on? Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, great. So we are doing hats. It's hat time. I know we promised to do hats a few months ago, and we took a little bit of break. We did these dot stars. We did these matrices. We did other cool stuff and Adafruit IO. And now we're back to hats. So these are plug-on daughter boards for the Raspberry Pi. And the hat is a specification by the Pi Foundation for the size and shape. It's the same size as the Model A Plus Raspberry Pi. It also fits very nicely into, well, if you hide me for a second, you'd see it fits
You're
perfectly
hidden.
into the Raspberry Pi Model B cavity, the space between the USB port, Ethernet port, and the case. And so which means it fits very nicely into a case and you can close it. So this is a 2.2-inch TFT. And it's actually the same basic chip and display and resolution as the Pi TFT 2.8, which is very, very popular. But this does not have a touch screen. So it's less expensive because there's no touch screen. And also you don't touch it. Whatever, but you know,
Can't
maybe
touch this.
you can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we got glowing LEDs. And I can show it on the overhead, but it is very beautiful. And what's nice is that, of course, it works with the Raspberry Pi Model B Plus or A Plus, and it fits quite nicely. It has 4 little buttons you can press. It comes assembled. All the surface mount stuff is assembled. You have to solder on the header. And here's my demo, and there's like a pen here. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in. Hold on. Zooming in. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I can go deeper. Okay, that's
right.
the most I can zoom. So this you can see, I'm just logged into the login prompt. And then I'm just going to use this keyboard. And, oh, hold on. Can log in. And it just, you know, using our Raspbian image works great. You just plug it in, you can basically run it. And then you can run programs like, of course, anything on the text console, because it shows up in the text console. You write programs in Pygame or in SDL that is supported. You can actually run X. X will, hold on. Only if you type in start X properly. You can run X11, and so any program that runs X11 will run on it. It can kind of do video, but I would, you know, it's good for images and like basic interactive stuff. It's a small screen and small resolution. It's only 320 by 240, so you can't like, you can run a web browser, but it's small, guys. So just be aware of that. But if you just want to have a small interface, if you want to just display graphs, or if you want to have some information that the Raspberry Pi is telling you, it's a very beautiful display, very clear. It doesn't have a touch screen again, but there's these 4 buttons that you can press down
this is
here to
great.
do stuff.
Good work, lady.
It's a hat.
I know you've been working on this for a while.
I know.
Okay, so with that being said, guess what? You've completed your journey of the evening.
Okay.
You did it, Lady Ada.
We
The
had
finish
so
line is
many
there.
different glowing things.
You did it. That was new products. Okay, so everybody don't forget the code is Heathkit. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up till midnight tonight. If you're hanging out and you're done with the relatives or whatever you're doing on this fine holiday season and you're like, hey, grandma just
Oh,
gave
wait,
me...
we forgot to talk about the Tektronix
Oh, yeah.
cookie.
Oh, yeah, you know, just one thing real quick. So
Did you have the
don't
overhead?
forget gift certificates. You can get those right away.
Should I eat
And-
this cookie?
Well, no. So this is the thing. So put this over the red. So we're getting all these treats. I didn't get a chance to photograph this, but Tektronix sent us a cookie.
It's a
box of
4-channel.
cookies. They sent a box of cookies.
It's a 4-channel
and it's an
cookie.
edible 4-channel scope.
Yeah.
Yum. Okay.
Delicious. It's actually a really nice silkscreen.
One quick question
Yeah.
before we get into questions. Are the TFT hats pre-assembled?
The surface mount stuff is assembled on the button and the screen is attached on, and you have to put the header on. So there's a little bit of through-hole soldering. But it's pretty easy if you have a soldering iron. We hope to eventually get them fully assembled, but we don't have that machine yet in the Adafruit factory that does it, so we let you do it.
Okay, so I would like everyone to know that we are about to do the thing that's a lot of fun, which is ask your engineering questions.
Yay!
Post them up in the comments, and we'll answer your engineering questions. I already have some ready to go. People have been asking questions during the show, so I'm going to do it now.
That's actually a pretty good cookie. This is a butter cookie. This is pretty good.
Okay, first question. You ready, Lady Ada?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Adafruit considering a Pi hat or Spark.io shield for capacitive touch sensor? Not something to be connected to, but where you can touch the shield itself.
Well, for the, pardon me, let me eat my scope. For the Raspberry Pi, I do have a hat for capacitive touch. And I decided to make it so you could attach alligator clips to it 12 alligator clips. That's why we had that NPR 121 library. And it'll be the NPR 121, and you can attach up to 12 things using alligator clips. So you can like make your own electrodes and stuff and then attach them with the alligator wires, like 12-inch long wires. That's kind of my plan. This is because I don't know. I mean, I could eventually make a version that actually you press stuff on the hat itself, but I thought it'd be more fun to connect your own custom electrodes.
Okay. Next up, Lady Ada. Will the LED panels work with fade candy?
That was a good question. The LED panels don't use the NeoPixel protocol, so they actually don't work with fade candy, because fade candy is only for NeoPixels, like the NeoPixel strips or rings, anything with the word NeoPixel in it. These have to be controlled. We have a pixel matrix driver that can, I think, use these panels. Right now, we don't have a specialized controller. You have to kind of use the Arduino code we have, or we have some Raspberry Pi code in our GitHub repository, GitHub account, called like RGB Matrix Pi or whatever. That's kind of how we suggest using it for now. There might eventually be a fade candy-like thing that can basically take processing and spit it to a matrix, but it doesn't exist yet. But if you design it, let me know.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Next up, can those strips be cut?
These strips, yes. We don't have the close-up photo here, but check out the product page. Each one of them has a cut line between each LED, so you can cut and resolder them.
Okay. Next up, what's your favorite Linux distribution, Lady Ada?
Ooh.
I like Ubuntu.
I'm going to abstain from answering that question.
Whoa, that was smart.
I'm not gonna get into
In fact, you know what? That was stupid.
FreeBSD.
God,
No,
what was I thinking? I'm so stupid. I should have said, oh, they're all great and everything.
I'm not getting into
This
this
is
one.
why you're the founder and engineer, and this is why I'm just supposed to press buttons.
Just press buttons. You're just a
There's certain things that I shouldn't be allowed to do.
meat man.
I shouldn't be allowed to talk on the telephone after 8 p.m. I shouldn't be allowed to pick Linux distributions. There's so many things I shouldn't be allowed to do. Anyways.
Actually, the thing is, I did used to run BSD, not Linux. So I didn't used to run Linux. I used to run NetBSD and FreeBSD. So
Okay. Next up,
I'm kind of
ready?
keeping out of it.
The red light on my trinket does not come on. I have several different cables. It's not still working. It was working yesterday. What else can I try? Post in the forums and
Press the forum. We'll check you out. Try pressing the reset button to force the bootloader. Could be your bootloader got corrupted somehow, which can happen if you like bootload halfway through. But we have instructions on how to fix a trinket if you need to.
How did the cookie taste?
I thought it was pretty tasty.
Pretty good cookie?
Yeah.
As far as scope cookie goes.
This is a pretty good scoop cookie.
Okay. All right. Next. Oh, did the Super Game Pi work, or did it come fully drained? The Super Pi.
It was drained, but I actually charged it.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
good.
Okay. All right. Next up, we are going to give something away. What do you want to give away
yeah?
tonight? Yeah. Guess what time it is, everybody?
We should give away this LED strip I'm
You
wearing.
want to give the LED strip that Lady Ada is wearing? Okay.
Yes.
We're giving it away. Lady Ada, what are the rules?
Rules are if you've won a prize on the Ask Engineer show, you cannot win this LED strip prize. You can only have one winner per my lifetime, and I'm keeping track of you guys, and Krampus is going to hit you with a stick if you try to enter more than once. Or if you've won something and you're trying to enter the prize contest again. First person to type in the correct answer with spelling the way Phil wants it is the winner. You can type it into the YouTube chat or the Ustream chat.
Yeah, they're all pretty synced up.
They're synced up today.
All right, so
You'll win this 1 meter long 144 LED strip. This is the finest LED strip.
Here's
Look
a
at
question.
this beautiful Dot star LED strip.
I need the first, middle, and last name of this person who started Heathkit back in 1912. I need the first, middle, and last name who started Heathkit. It's not Daryl. Let's see who is going to get it first. People are going to Wikipedia, they're scrolling, they're typing, they're doing all sorts of things. They're like, Heathkit, oh, that's kind of neat. Mr. Heathkit is not the right answer.
Not
folks.
Sir Heathkit. I tricked you earlier by saying that.
First, middle, last name. And here it is. Doc Prof Sky Edward Bayard Heath. Congratulations. You won Doc Prof Sky. Email support@adafruit.com and you get this LED strip as worn by Lady Ada.
You probably won't get, I won't give you the sweaty one I wore. And yeah. It's not sweaty, but
All right.
I'll wipe it down with 409.
Yeah.
So it's not-
With that, that's the show tonight. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget the code is Heathkit. If you're still trying to do some last-minute shopping, get them an Adafruit gift certificate. Many, many thanks to everyone who made this holiday season so good. Thank you so much, everyone out there. We really, 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 really appreciate it. We're only able to do this every week because of you. So thank you for watching and sharing, and particularly all the folks who came on the show and tell. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Okay. So with that being said, Lady Ada, here's a picture of a cat. We're going to do Moment of Zener, and then I'm going to play a video on how to make a gift certificate order.
Okay, it's a good idea.
Here's your Moment of Zener.
Not sure what to get that special someone? How about an Adafruit gift certificate? Adafruit gift certificates are easy to buy and redeem, and they never expire. Simply log on to adafruit.com, go to the shop section, and click on the gift certificate category. We sell gift certificates in $100, $50, $20, and $1 increments. If you'd like a non-standard amount, just add up a combination of gift certificates to equal the amount you want. Say, for example, you want to send a $25 gift certificate. Add one $20 gift certificate, then add 5 $1 gift certificates to your cart. The gift certificate will be sent as one combined amount. During the checkout process, make sure to add the recipient's name and email address, as well as a personal message. We'll send out your gift certificate via email as soon as you place your order, but we can't accommodate special delivery requests. Check out the My Account tab on the Adafruit site to transfer all or part of your gift certificate balance to someone else. On your account page, select Manage Gift Certificates. Next, select Send Gift Certificate and enter the recipient's name, email address, the amount, and a personal message. Then click Send, and you're all set. Redeeming and using an Adafruit gift certificate is a cinch. When you receive an Adafruit gift certificate in your inbox, you have two options. You can click the link in your gift certificate email or copy the code included in the email. Both options will require you to either sign into your Adafruit account or sign up if you don't already have one. If you need help, click this video about creating an account, and we'll be here when you get back. Once you're signed in, the gift certificate link in your email will add the gift certificate to your account. If you use the code, enter it in step 1 of the checkout process. The code will be validated and the amount added to your gift certificate account. You can then use the amount to purchase any item from our store. You can double check the amount when it appears during step 4 of the checkout process. Please select Save and Continue, and the amount will be added to your order. If you wish to use the gift certificate at another time, simply change the amount in the box to 0. That's all you need to know to purchase, send, and redeem an Adafruit gift certificate. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe for more of our customer support videos at Adafruit.